Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Thank you again for taking the time out to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Okay, so I wanted to get started asking about the development of the show. I saw that you serve as the showrunner on the series and wanted to ask about how you became involved in that aspect of the series and what that process was like of really getting the show together.
Sure. Well, I have been working in writing and producing TV for a while. And in addition to that, I wrote the book of Devil in Ohio. And so then when it came time to sell it, and adapt it, I was ready, willing, and able to do that. So we partnered with Netflix, and I got to work with the team there and adapted the book, which was more from the YA perspective, told through Jules's point of view, into this series, which we opened up and more focused on Suzanne, the psychiatrist mother, who's played by Emily Deschanel, and her point of view, and really looking at, why does she bring this girl home, and what happened in her own life that makes her want to help this girl so much, and how far will she go to protect this girl, even when it's starting to affect her family.
Speaking of the fact that you both wrote the book and then also the series as well, and while you were adapting the books into the series, what was the process like of deciding to like change this perspective, like you just mentioned, and just really deciding what aspects of the book story to include in the show as well?
It's a great question. The book is in a book, you get to be really interior, and you go right inside the character's head, and they tell you exactly what they're thinking. And so the the nature of that format can be very intimate and interior. And I wanted to keep that level of depth of emotion and complexity to the characters. But opening it up to series, we added in the Detective Lopez storyline. So he's going into Town and he's trying to find out what happens. And so we added the case and the more of the plot, of like unspooling that mystery. Meanwhile, Suzanne is sort of working on the emotional mystery with May and finding out more about her. So they end up working together. So in series, we got to add a lot more storylines and spend some time with some of our other characters and open up the mystery a bit more. And so that was really fun. And we built out the cult, which we created from whole cloth, my writer's room and I. So it was just a really fun creative sandbox to play in, to get to make all this stuff up.
Mhm. And also, besides writing the series, I also wanted to ask about also producing and what was that experience like as well, and really balancing the two aspects of the series as well.
Yeah, they're very different. Writing is very interior. You sit with your computer and it's
Mhm.
quiet, or maybe you listen to music. The writer's room process is collaborative. We bounce ideas off of each other, but it's still kind of a small um, group. And then you get into production and producing, and there's 150 people working on the show. And so they're kind of different, skill sets. And but I love them both. I love, the writing process and having that really quiet time and going inside and, finding the story and putting it on the page. And then I love working with people, bringing it to life and actually getting to see everything up on its feet, and going with the flow of that, because sometimes things don't, look the way you thought they would, or it's raining, or if you're shooting in Vancouver, it's snowing, which we had all of the weather. So it's very much, being up on your feet, troubleshooting, working with other people, and really working as a team, a big team, and to make it all happen before the clock runs out at the end of the day.
And also speaking about Emily and the rest of the cast, I also wanted to ask about casting the actors and really figuring, especially with the family and then the main character, and we would cast them in those main roles as well.
Yeah, I actually went to college with Emily at Boston University. So we are old friends and we studied theater together. So I knew she was the perfect fit to play Suzanne. She has such warmth and empathy that she brought to the role. And then the rest of the family, we did chemistry reads between May and Jules to make sure that, relationship was working. We did rehearsals before we started shooting, and we got to rehearse some of those big family scenes together. So the family really feels like a family, those times in the kitchen when you're all, everyone's getting ready for their days. And we got to live in that for a little bit with our pilot director, John Fawcett, and spend some time before we were shooting really getting to know each other, and so that they really felt like a family.
While I was watching the show, another aspect I liked about the series was the physicality of the characters, and then also like some of the stunt work. And what was that experience like working with the cast and creating that aspect of their characters as well?
I've worked on Jack Ryan for 2 seasons, and Hunters, and Condor, which is basically 3 Days in the Condor. And so I like dynamic, I love a good, living room drama, but I also like, some movement and some action as well. So we did as much as we could, blending those two things together, but trying to keep some propulsion in the world and keep it, get some as much, action and behavior and adventures for our characters as we could.
Well, I think that was me, but thank you again for taking the time out to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much, Karen. Nice to meet
You're
you.
welcome. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.